Yo, as always, like, share, subscribe. Now let's just get into it. So, I'm working on somebody reached out to me and we'll see how it goes. I don't want to speak on it yet, but just know something's in the works. Let's just keep our fingers crossed. But I asked y'all to drop me questions. So, let's go. Let's go. First question from Jack Package 4278 says, if they stack the box this weekend, I don't even want to see us try and run it much. I want us to use JJ in every possible capacity, and I want to see us get creative in the red zone for once. Moore is coaching again this game, so I'm also curious to see how different the play calling will look on offense. Yeah, definitely. I want us to... The goal this year is to do whatever the defense gives us, whether that's 8-9 in the box, let JJ beat them, whether that's two safeties high, let Blake and Donovan beat them. You know what I'm saying? So that's just the goal, to take what the defense gives you, whether that's run or pass, take it. Now, with Moore coming back, we will get to see a little bit more of the offense, the guy that's actually paid to do that job. So he can hopefully get in a groove. Things that I was happy to see, play action. Last year they missed out. There was no reason for us to not be one of the most play action heavy teams. If you're going to run it like we run it, you have to play action a ton. They go hand in hand. If you're running in a ton and you don't play action, then you're basically I don't know. You're not doing it right. You have to play action a lot if you're gonna run it a lot. That's just how it goes. That's smart football. So I'm not sure why they weren't doing it last year. Glad to see they understand. Well, if we're gonna run it, it makes sense to play action a ton. So that's part of it. Glad to see it. And you say run JJ in the red zone. Well, in the red zone, I do want to see us get more creative, because the running it up the middle, especially out of the shotgun, in the red zone, I'd like to see either single back formations with JJ under center, or I formations, whether that's a big set or whatever, you know. We want to see the heavy personnel. I want to see a fullback. Get back to Harbaugh ball from the past. Get in that I formation if you want to run it, but also bring in Orgy. Let him. There's tons of things you can do in the red zone. You know what I'm saying? The play action with a fullback going to the flat. That's easy play action stuff. A guy coming in motion, and then he flies out to the flat. So there's a bunch of different ways to, get creative in the red zone. Throw it up to Cornelius. I wouldn't mind seeing that sometimes. But, there's a bunch of different ways. We just got to hope that they're willing and ready to do them this year, because they left some points on the field last year. Appreciate the comment. Rob Mella 6692 says, Are we ever going to be able to see JJ as a running threat in the red zone? No problems with him keeping him untouched in the cupcakes, but this is something that feels necessary to level up the previous red zone struggles over the years. Yeah, so continuing what I was talking about, you definitely need to use him. Just like last year. Last year, they would wait. Okay, second half we'll use JJ's legs in big games. Why are we waiting? This is a big game. If we lose it, our goals might be down the drain. Now, just like you said, cupcakes, you ain't got to run it. Penn State, maybe even Michigan State, Ohio State, you run him in the red zone or whatever. You run him often because you need him. Make the defense account for him. You letting them off easy if they don't have to account for your mobile QB that's running like a 4-5. And if you're scared to use him like that, bring in that freak of nature that's on the bench. Bring him in. Use him. What's the point of having him if you ain't going to use him? But they definitely need to use JJ in the red zone. There's a lot of things you can do. You just have to be willing to let him run that rock. Hey Arnold, got a football head, says, appreciate the comment. Do you think JJ gets Michigan passing TD record this year? It's a possibility. What's it, like 25 or something? He's having a good start. You got to put up numbers, and I'm not saying this like the record is a ton of TDs. Like plenty of schools have had that, but But what I'm saying is, in these cupcakes, he's got to get 3, 4, 5. You know what I'm saying? You got to put up some stats, some gaudy stats. Like last year with Blake. What did Blake have? 5 TDs against Hawaii. One of those cupcakes, I think he had 4 or 5 TDs. So you have a game like that you can boost your stats up a little against these cupcakes. So JJ coming out of these cupcake games, he needs about he's got 3 now. He needs about 7. I mean, not 7. He needs about 10. So that would be 3 this week and about 4 next week. He needs about 10 in the cupcakes. But I think he's going to break. Even if he doesn't do that, I think he's going to break it this year. Just because there's such an emphasis on, letting him pass it this year. Taking what the defense gives you. And it looks like the game has slowed down for him. He's put in the work. Now it looks like we're going to get the dividends from that, where you can put more on his shoulders. So, yeah, I'm gonna say he's gonna break it. Long story short, I'm gonna say he's gonna break it. Okay. Roll Talk, appreciate the comment, says, do you think UNLV brings different challenges? Not really. Not too much. It's just this game. They run it a ton, so this game is just about eye discipline, knowing your assignments, gap integrity. Because they're going to be doing the read, you trying to do somebody else's job, not setting the edge, stuff like that. All of a sudden you look and they're off to the races or getting a big gain because the edge was because you tried to do somebody else's job. You tried to go inside when your job was the edge. You tried to take the quarterback when he has the quarterback and you were supposed to have the running back. You see what I'm saying? So that's just the thing. It's just going to be consistent. They're going to be consistently running it from what I saw. And so it's just do your job. I think the first quarter you might see a mistake or two or a few mistakes, maybe. But after that, I think they're just going to get locked in, and it's going to be tough for UNLV to pretty much do anything on offense, at least. Their defense, I don't think they pose really any threat for the most part, as far as I know. Because they played a FCS school, I believe, so you ain't going to get nothing out of that from what they're doing on defense for the most part. PM Maximus says, how do you feel about our Mr. Brightside song as our theme music in football games? It's not the hype song like Jump Around that Wisconsin does at the fourth quarter. It's all right. It's not. You ain't going to get no new recruits off of it. That atmosphere like, oh, whoa, I know that song. That's you know what I'm saying? These new. Honestly, if you want to create that atmosphere for these kids, and when you got recruits there, you got to almost go to TikTok and see what the new TikTok song trends are and stuff like that. That's what kind of makes music go for the most part. Or it could be an older song that, that everybody gets hyped to. Mr. Brightside's not really a song that gets you hyped. It's just like, I guess if you've been going to Michigan games for so long, you know it, like, oh, Mr. Brightside's playing. But yeah, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. PJ Brooks, appreciate the comments. He said JJ will need to break every passing record for Michigan to be serious threat to the Natty. He's on a good start. Yeah, he's on a good start, and he's looking like he's gonna have a real breakout season this year. That's what it looks like. So we gotta wait and see. But he's off to a good start. Looks like the game has slowed down for him. So that's huge right there. That's more than half of the battle, honestly. Let's see. B Miles 360 says, do you think not only Michigan but all big teams should insert a high-profile matchup that's non-conference to see how they fare as a conference matchup with the nation before the conference schedule begins? If we weren't adding all these teams, I would say yes. But with the added teams from the Pac-12, you don't have to do that. I mean, you can if you want to, but your schedule going to be torture like next year. Next year we got Texas, USC. This isn't in any order. I'm just naming some of the tough teams. Texas, USC, UCLA, Ohio State. And who knows if Wisconsin or one of those other teams will be good. So with the new Big Ten, you really don't have to do that stuff. Now, the way it is now, it made sense. But with what's coming, you really don't have to. If you want to test your team, you think you got a team that's going to be loaded in those years, you can schedule them out, but I don't think it's needed now. Honestly, with the way the Big Ten is coming up for next year, at least, and going forward. Let's see. Appreciate the comment, Bruce McGraw. He says, "What would be your recruiting pitch to Bryce Underwood if you're recruiting against Deion Sanders? How is Michigan better than Colorado this year, given the hype?" If I was trying to get him, let me see. I'm trying to make sure before I make this point. If I'm trying to get him, I'm hyping up that you can. If I'm trying to get him to come to Michigan, my selling point is you could go to Colorado and maybe win a championship or something, and you'll be a big time player. You might be legend status, maybe. But if you come to Michigan and you bring a championship to Michigan, being from Michigan, you're a legend. You're a real legend. Not somewhere else. In your home state. You'll be that type of legend. So, yeah, you could go to Colorado and, do your thing. But if you get Michigan a championship, it's going to mean 10 times more for you. Because you're from here. So everywhere you go, you're going to get love. Because you did something that hasn't been done in so long. And I just use players like Charles Woodson, the love that he gets from bringing a championship and a Heisman, even though he's not from Michigan, but this could be you. Getting this type of love, legend status. You know what I'm saying? But besides the him being from Michigan part of it, I'd really say I'm gonna give you the reins to the offense. Because the problem with recruiting against Deion is, one, you're fighting against Deion, the legend of Deion Sanders. You can go see the clips of him talking stuff, gold chains, the swag, the way he talks. see the way he played. So you're fighting against just that from his prime time persona. Now the coach, you're getting the persona, the swag, but you're also getting him. He letting his players flourish. So that's the problem is, and this was the problem. This would be the biggest problem with Harbaugh. He doesn't let his players just really flourish like that. Like Deion, you want to, because I was listening to an interview earlier, and he was saying it wasn't him just saying, Travis Hunter, I want you to play both ways. He said Travis Hunter was saying, I want to play both ways. I'm that dog. I'm that dog. I can go both ways, coach. And he say he's mad if he's not playing receiver. He's mad when he's not playing DB. He wants to play both ways. He wants to flourish. You know what I'm saying? So that's the problem is them boys over there, them boys Deion get, he letting them, all right, you that dude? Go out and show me. Go out and show me. I ain't got no problem as long as you out there showing up and showing out. Go do it. So that's the big thing. That's the big thing that's going to be hard to recruit against is Harbaugh likes to hold some of these dudes up, keep that chain around their neck like, oh, hold on, get back here. You ain't ready. You know what I'm saying? Deion going to let these dudes flourish. You know what I'm saying? Freshmen, you got freshmen out there going crazy. He letting them dudes play. Oh, you made a mistake? Go get them this time. He trusts them and he lets them dudes flourish. If he's riding with you, he riding with you. So that's gonna be the hard thing to recruit against. You know what I'm saying? Harbaugh has to let these quarterbacks put up numbers. Now, if JJ comes out and has 35 touchdowns this year, that's gonna be a big help. Like, okay, you see, I'm letting them slang that thing. That could be you, because if we're winning and JJ's throwing all those touchdowns, JJ's gonna be everywhere, just like Blake was everywhere last year. You seeing Blake? If you're a star player at Michigan, and this is another thing I would do. If you're a star player at Michigan, you're everywhere. You're gonna see Blake. You would see Jabril Peppers. You know what I'm saying? You see these dudes on TV getting the ESPN columns and segments and all that stuff. Like, you see it. Aiden Hutchinson, you used to see him. He at the Heisman. He's a DN. He a DN. He at the Heisman. You know what I'm saying? So I would also push that. Like, yeah, you're going to get your coverage at Colorado, but you put up at Michigan, boy, you're going to be everywhere. But it ain't no easy sell. You really going to need, the biggest thing is JJ's got to put up numbers to validate that you can be a quarterback, come up here, come to Michigan, and put up some numbers. Long story short. But I would do all those other things too. That's just me. So let's see. Night Owl 4523. Who do you fear playing more as of now, Penn State or Ohio State? You got a bunch of them, so I'm gonna break them down one by one. Right now, Penn State, but we don't play either one of these teams till almost the end of the season. So, but Penn State, Ohio State seems to have problems with their offensive line, and they don't know what they got at quarterback. They don't know if they want to roll with Kyle McCord or if they want to put Devin Brown in or what, you know? So they got to figure that out. But right now, I'm more worried about Penn State, honestly. What are your thoughts on Florida State? Do you think they're a legit playoff team? Florida State is scary. I'm going to keep it 100. They scary. They got receivers, which are huge. They're all 6'5", 6'4", 6'5", 6'7". That's a problem. They got a good quarterback. He can make some mistakes, but he's still a good quarterback. Pretty good offensive line. Got backs. Got a defense that will smack you around. Florida State is a problem. I don't think anybody's gonna beat them in the ACC. Right now, I think Florida State will probably make the playoff. Honestly, like, they scary. What are your thoughts on Georgia and Alabama's QB? Uh, I didn't really see Georgia's QB that much. I heard he had a decent game. Alabama's QB, he's just a freak of nature. He's just scary because he's built like a freaking, I don't know. That dude is built. That dude is built like a tank. He looking like Alex Orgy or something out there. So that's he's just scary like that. But he's not a seasoned passer. He's more of an athlete playing quarterback, built like a tank. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing. If you can slow down their run game and force him to beat you with his arm, then you got something. You know what I'm saying? Then you got something. So that would be the script to beat Bama. Make him beat you with his arm. But that dude is built like a tank. Jeez. If Michigan doesn't play Alex Orgy much, do you think he'll transfer? It's a possibility because he could. The way teams are getting quarterbacks that can't throw at all, and I'm not saying that about him. I don't see why he wouldn't go find a team that's going to play him because they're doing him a disservice by, one, he's a freak of nature. If you don't want to play him at quarterback, I'd have him at linebacker. I'd be using him because the reason I would use Alex Orgy is because and move him around if he's okay with it, which I think he probably would be, is because he's physical. He's physical. So when a player is physical and wants to hit people, that's a football player. That ain't no quarterback. That's a football player. So I can put him back there. All right, fullback. We ain't giving it to him. We running him into the flat. Can you catch? Which I bet he can. I'm using him in the flat, throwing him little passes. Go out there and hit somebody trying to fly up. You know what I'm saying? I'm using him in the red zone, wildcat. If I got Khalil Mullins back there at kick return, you get from back there, buddy. Alex Orgy, I'm going to use him there. Honestly, I would use him as a running back also. I'd put him back there and put him in the eye. I don't care. He's a freak of nature. If you've seen this dude play, I'm not wasting that talent. I'll tell him, like, bro, you can still be quarterback, but right now, I just want to get you on the field. Because I know you can help this team win. And he going to start. You right, coach. You right. I just want to help the team. If it's going to get me on the field, you tell him I just want to get you on the field because you can help this team. He going to be down with it, I guarantee. You know what I'm saying? That's just how I feel about it. I think you could use him in a bunch of different ways. And I think he can excel at them. Just put him out there. Let him be physical like he wants to be because we need someone physical like that. That's part of what the offense is missing. Blake is physical, but he's a little guy. Alex Orgy is bigger than safeties. He's bigger than some linebackers. So he brings something to the table we don't got. I want my table full. I want a speed back. I want a complete back. I want that freak of nature back that you don't want to tackle. I want them all. Oh, okay. I'm going to put him at quarterback now. JJ, come off. Run that rock. I got to let this bulldozer bulldoze. Touchdown. He too big. I'm telling you, I'm using that talent. I ain't sitting there on no sideline next to me. Let's see. Michigan man, appreciate the comment. He says, I want to see J.J. McCarthy get at least 500 passing yards, 5 TDs. We'll see. I don't know about that. That's a lot of yardage. And that's a lot of yardage. And that's a lot of yardage. And that's a lot of executing. That's a lot of guys making dudes miss. To get 500 yards, you got to have a sum of everything. Guys making dudes miss and going 60 and 70, some bombs, some screens that go to that. You need some of everything for 500 yards. LaRon Peoples, appreciate the comment, bro. He said, do you think Jim has learned how to get out of his own way? That's the big question this year. He's stubborn. I done went over those of you that have been watching me for years. Y'all know he's stubborn. He'll keep stubbing his toe until he realizes, man, let me pick my feet up. So that's the question. Has he learned his lesson? I got to have a complete offense if I want to win a championship. Only time will tell. Only time will tell on that one. I think he has. With them focusing so much and saying they're focusing on the pass game and it actually being true. So I think he has. I think he knows the writing is on the wall. We got a loaded team, super seniors, juniors. This is my best chance to get a ring. I got to go on and get this. So I think he has, but only time will tell. Daniel Tavera 9968 says, does the new time system scare you to where it could cost us a game? Think about the 2021 Nebraska game. We probably lose if the clock continued to run without it being stopped during first downs due to limited possessions. Yeah. And that's the only type of game. One of those games where one of those lower scoring games where you're both grinding it out. And, both teams want to control the clock. So you're going up against another type of kind of hardball. So you just like last week, the first game, we killed the clock from the beginning. So, you killing that clock. Whether you start winning or not, Harbaugh's going to still kill that clock. So he's killing possessions already. Now you got another team. They over there killing possessions too. They trying to shorten the game. So then if it's actually a tight game in the fourth and y'all both still playing y'all same game plan, it's like whoever can get one drive and get field goal range and killing this clock, it's a wrap. You know what I'm saying? So that does worry me a little bit. But we do get once it's down to 2 minutes, it does go back to that. But by that time, you could have lost multiple possessions, you know what I'm saying, in the game. So that does worry me, definitely. And one of those grudge matches, grind it out. Both teams want to grind it out and kill the clock type games. J. Marion 23, with Moore coming back, do you think Kirk Campbell should still call some plays? I think you should probably give him the reins. He's got to get his mojo, and we got to let him find his mojo. You don't have Weiss. He's gone, and the play calling duties are on Moore to himself now. Let him find his groove now. You got to let him go and find his groove. Question number 2, I always thought Hoke and Harbaugh wasted Pepper's offensive ability. Do you feel like Jim is doing that with Orgy? They did somewhat waste Pepper's ability. The problem, Peppers said Peppers told Harbaugh he didn't want to be like a running back a lot. But I think this is what I would have did with Peppers during that Michigan's, when we played Ohio State, we needed him at running back. We needed him bad. I think we win that game if we just let him play running back consistently. But not only that, when they did have him in the backfield, I think they could have schemed up better plays to exploit the defense when he's back there. Because when Peppers got in the game, all eyes were on him. So his first play in the game, I would have play actioned. I would have hit him with a hard play action. You know what I'm saying? Right off the bat. And as the game went on, I feel like if you take Peppers, tell him, put a fullback in front of him, I believe we would have been able to kill that clock and wouldn't let Ohio State be able to come back. You know what I'm saying? But Orgy, I think they're wasting him right now. And this season just begun, so we don't know if they might have a full package for him. But right now, if they don't, you wasting him. Like put this dude on the field. Like He's a freak of nature. Just use him. It's not hard to figure out a way to use somebody that's talented. That's my thing. It's not hard to figure out. If you're struggling on how to use him, go pull up Florida when Chris Leak was starting and Tim Tebow was a freshman. Oh, perfect. Perfect way to use him. They're built like the same dude. Use him the same way. It's quite simple. If not, I'd change him positions. I'd put him at linebacker. I'm not saying he would start at linebacker this year or something, but I'd say I'd just talk him into it. Like, you can probably start for us at linebacker if he's picked. You know what I'm saying? I would sell it to him like, bro, you might be an all right quarterback, but you may be a heck of a linebacker, a heck of a middle linebacker. So I try to talk him into, switching positions maybe. But this year, they need to use him at offense. You know what I'm saying? If he's not going to start at quarterback next year, I'd try to switch his position. I'd have him working with his package. I'd have him working with the package on offense. And then I'd have him working with the linebackers. Like, I want you to be my middle linebacker. I know Orgy going to come up and hit. I don't think R.J. Moden has recovered from that hit he took in the spring game for him. He done knocked him. He done knocked him to Florida. He still don't know how to. His tackling, his coverage and coverage skills, they all done just went. Orgy done knocked Moden's football abilities just away. He don't know what's going on. So I would definitely do that. Now, your third question was, Michigan is losing a lot roster-wise in 24, but so is OSU. But the focus seems to be more on Michigan. Why is that? Well, let me stop right there. That's because Ohio State, people just think Ohio State just reloads. So that's why people are like, oh, Michigan's losing all this talent. Ohio State, though, and they got 5 stars and 4 stars on the bench. You know what I'm saying? Or at least 4 stars on the bench, waiting their turn. So that's why I think people are more worried about us. Plus, we're Michigan fans, so we hear it more from our side. But, yeah, it's more just because Ohio State's been good for so long and has recruited well for so long. Michigan will, and then you said Michigan will still have Loveland, Will Johnson, Mason Graham, Big Grant, Hausman, and a few others returning. I think the big thing is you'd be losing Roman, Cornelius, off the Zenner and Keegan and a bunch of offensive linemen. Honestly, maybe JJ, maybe Donovan, Blake. If JJ and Donovan have good or great years, they're probably gone. So if you lose JJ, Donovan, Blake, Cornelius, Roman, that's your skill players on offense. So that's the thing right there. You losing a seasoned quarterback, 2 seasoned running backs, 2 seasoned receivers. So that's a lot to lose, and expect to be good. So I think that's more of why it's like, all right, Michigan's losing a ton this year, which we are. But hopefully JJ stays or Donovan. You know what I'm saying? JSC says the new clock rule has ruined college football. Yeah, I mean, our games are going to go by faster now, definitely. And then they showing a whole lot of commercials, and it just is what it is, We'll see how it is. Hopefully we don't have any close games. Hopefully we just kind of cruise control through everybody. Wouldn't that be nice? I wouldn't have to sit over here and have a heart attack. Let's just hope. Let's just hope JJ's out there shredding, Donovan and Blake out there 60 yards in a cloud of smoke. Let's just hope. Defense out there, you get nothing. You get nothing. And boy, we have a good year. I'm going to be making a bunch of boring videos. Let's see. We got Ray Johnson 3477. He says, "Is it me or is Peacock the worst network to watch a game?" It's close. They don't know what they doing yet. Honestly, for one, they didn't. The sound was going in. The sound just went off. You couldn't hear the commentators for a while. Two, like the Josh Wallace pick, they didn't show the full play. So most of us were like, what happened? Like they showed it once. They showed half of it once in slow motion, but they didn't show all the way through. Then they showed it again and they did the same thing. And then they just moved on like whatever. Like, bro, it's your job to let us know what's going on. We can't see everything. It's on you to let the fans know, bro. Like, so yeah, I'm not a fan of Peacock so far. I know it's new for them to be having games like this, but they definitely need to get it together. But what are we gonna do? You know, it's all about money. So that's all of the questions y'all got. As far as just offense and stuff like that, a few things that I just want to see this year, like y'all were saying, red zone offense. I want to see the I formation. I want to see that big personnel in the I formation, or at least single back. You know what I'm saying? So the running back can build up a head of steam, not getting it like this. And it's just not good to run it. The 5 on in, it's not good to run it out of the shotgun to get in there. It's just not if you're gonna be handing it to your backs. Now, if you're running the read, that's a little different, but you can do that stuff on play action. You know what I'm saying? You can kind of do you can get JJ in on a play action or a bootleg also, you know, but you still got the threat of throwing it. So I want to see single back, I formation, that type of stuff. Or I also want to see Orgy in those sets. I'm glad to see play action. They're using the play action. That's big time. I'm glad to see that. So just a few things I was thinking about. Y'all questions. I appreciate y'all. That was a lot of talking. So like, share, subscribe, and as always, go blue.